If Yeshua is not God, why is God allowing him to be worshipped in Revelation, breaking the first commandment?
Directed to?
The non-Trinitarian group.
Okay.
Yeah. He is worshipped as the Messiah. There's a Greek word latrevo, which is used of religious worship. It's not used of Jesus in the New Testament. That's my point. Very important distinction. Secondly, in the book of Hebrews, the first chapter, he labors to show that Jesus is superior to angels. You remember it? Superior to angels. Think about that. If you think Jesus is God, why would you bother arguing that he's better than the angels? It's silly. The idea had not entered the writer's head to think that he is God. That would make two gods. No, he has to argue with text after text after text that Jesus is superior to an angel. Think about that. Why not just say he's God, for goodness sake? Get on with it. There's a very simple issue at stake here.
Hebrews chapter 1 actually says exactly that. We were just told it was silly to demonstrate that Jesus is superior to the greatest created things, and yet the writer of the Hebrews does exactly that in Hebrews chapter 1, identifying Jesus as Yahweh and saying he created all things. But then we just said, well, latruo is not used of Jesus. Listen to these words in Revelation chapter 5. And I heard every creature in heaven and on earth and under the earth and in the sea and all that is in them. That's every creature. If Jesus is a creature, he'd be worshiping himself, saying, to him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be blessing and honor and glory and might forever and ever. And the four living creatures said, amen, and the elders fell down and worshiped. Now the term worship there is proskuneo. The idea being that's somehow less than latruo. Except this is the worship being given by all of creation and all the living creatures to him who sits upon the throne, which we all agree around this table is truly God. But it's given to him who sits upon the throne and to the Lamb. That would be absolute idolatry if the Lamb is a created being. The text says every created being enters into this worship. Is the Lamb a created being? Then he's worshiping himself. The text is very plain.
And I also would point out that although Anthony has told us that why doesn't the writer of Hebrews 1 just go ahead and say he's God? He does. And Anthony
Hebrews
said
1:6.
that's one of the explicit
1:8.
places in the New Testament where he does so. I don't believe in two gods, only one. We're giving you the simple answer for what the Bible's saying.